Today, we're going to be comparing two of my favorite brokers to decide which one is better. None of this is financial advice, but without further ado, let's dive straight into the video. So this video is all going to be about InvidiaTrade and AvaTrade or AvaTrade here because both are pretty decent brokers, but one of them will take the cake by the end of the video. So let's kick things off with a nice little description of each site in first impressions format. So let's have a look. Yes, we have InvidiaTrade looking very slick, looking very nice here. And if we go over to AvaTrade here, we can see a little bit more complex. I would say probably quite overwhelming for a new or beginner trader, but overall, yeah, there is information here and it's not too bad anyway. Now, if we're talking about regulations here, let's actually take a look at InvidiaTrade. We're going to have to scroll all the way down to the bottom, but we can see that yes, they are registered out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So basically, they are regulated, which is good, and that's going to give lots of versatility in terms of trading in different places in the world. Now, if we go over to AvaTrade, we can see that these guys are regulated with the FCA, ASIC, MAS, and FINMA, and the Central Bank of Ireland. But the problem with that is you're going to be massively restricted because of that, right? So if you are someone that is from one of those countries, you could probably trade on this. But besides that, I mean, you could also trade if you're from those countries and you're abroad, right? So if you go on holiday and you might not get access to AvaTrade, but if you're using InvidiaTrade, then it doesn't matter where you are. These guys allow you to trade from over 200 different countries because of their specific regulations. And as you can see, regulated, licensed, secure, and you can trade and invest in the effective way. Now, let's talk trading conditions here, guys, because these guys offer a bunch of different stocks and pairs, and they do offer crypto as well on InvidiaTrade. So here we can see we've got Forex, indices, commodities, crypto, and stocks. That is something that's good. Now, if we head over to AvaTrade and we go over here, we can see that yes, it's quite hard to find, but we've got cryptocurrencies here. And then yes, we do have actual indices, commodities, stocks as well here. So good stuff there, pretty even on that front. But if we're talking about conditions in terms of fees, it's important to note that yes, InvidiaTrade will actually have between 0.4 pips to 0.8 pips, depending on the account you have, which will have commissions between $8 to $9, which I consider to be incredibly low. Most other brokers don't offer that low in terms of fees. But on AvaTrade, on the other hand, guys, these guys will actually do what's called an inactivity penalty. So if you're inactive for 3 months, you're actually going to get a $10 a month fee on your trades, which is kind of ridiculous. That's why I don't really use these guys too much. And if we are just comparing their spreads directly, I would say AvaTrade is somewhere between 0.9 and 1.8 in terms of spreads on the lower end. Whereas, of course, InvidiaTrade is a lot lower, 0.4 to 0.8. So definitely a winner on that front again from Nvidia. Now, what about platforms and tools? Well, if we go over to AvaTrade, we can see they have a bunch of different platforms here. Again, pretty complicated to understand and yeah, quite overwhelming in terms of the way this information is displayed. But we can see here that we do have MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, and they do have a web trader and app as well. That's okay. But if we head over to InvidiaTrade, these guys actually have access to TradingView. They have MetaTrader 4 and 5 Cloud, CloudVision X, and Cloud Trader View as well here. So lots more options here when it comes to using platforms that you're familiar with. I don't think you'll be able to use AVA or Ava on TradingView, where you can do it actually here directly in the platform on InvidiaTrade. So I'm going to give this one just about to InvidiaTrade just because of the versatility here, because some people do like to prefer MetaTrader, some people like TradingView. So having that option available, I do think is great for all traders. In terms of education and support, their support system is fantastic. Honestly, they replied to me within a few minutes when I reached out to them, so that's fantastic. But what they do here on InvidiaTrade is they'll actually give you market insights and analysis tools directly on the platform that you can use to trade more effectively. Now, Ava actually do offer a lot of info here in terms of trading. They have an academy here, which does have courses for beginners. But overall, guys, I have actually looked at these courses and they're not that great. Honestly, I get more information from InvidiaTrade just from their market updates, because when I'm trading on the market, and I'm sure it's the same for you guys, you want to know the information. You want to know what's going on economically. You want to know what events are coming up, and InvidiaTrade do that great with their market insights. Now, when it comes to leverage, we can see that InvidiaTrade offer up to 500x leverage even on the standard account. When we compare that to Ava's leverage, I mean, these guys will offer up to 400, but again, if you want to trade with more leverage, I would highly recommend InvidiaTrade more than anything. So when comparing these two fantastic brokers, I'm definitely going to give it to InvidiaTrade here. If you do want to check it out in the description. Sign up. It's super easy, guys. You basically just put your email in, do your KYC, deposit, and you are good to go. And it literally takes a matter of minutes. So if you do want to get involved, then do us a favor, click the link in the description and get going, get trading. This is great for beginners, great for pros. And honestly, for me, this is the best broker I've used in a while, and I've used hundreds. So that's going to be it for this video. I will see you in the next one.